everybody, and welcome to Mom Cooks Fast and Slow. I'm Alex Sullivan, and I'm delighted to have you at my kitchen table. Today, I have Michele Salmini, who recently finished her 4 years as a host family for a Better Chance organization here in New Canaan. We talk about the amazing ABC program, the wonderful boys that attend, and the family values that ground the initiative, which makes the program so successful. I hope you enjoy. Hi, Michele. Welcome to Mom Cooks Fast and Slow.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on. I'm really excited about this conversation. I wanted to talk about the ABC program, the A Better Chance program here in New Canaan, which I find to be really amazing. And I wanted others to kind of hear more about it. And I know you were involved, you're a host family. So I thought if we could start with giving a little bit of background about yourself, your family, how you got involved in the ABC program, and then a bit about what exactly the ABC program is.
Okay, so I grew up in New Canaan, Connecticut, and went to the New Canaan High School. And I actually went to the high school knowing, several ABC scholars that were, there currently when I was there. And I got to know a few of them really well, and they were always just the greatest guys. Actually, one of them I ended up going to University of Richmond with, which was super
Oh,
fun.
wow.
But it was always it was a program that I thought was so incredible, and I always did think to myself, this is something I would love to do when I had a family of my own. So fast forward however many years ahead. I have two girls, one who just graduated from college, one who's a junior in college, and then one who just went to college. So when Matthew, my son, was like in eighth grade, I thought, this could be a really great time to start, thinking about doing it. And so Matthew would be a freshman when the ABC scholar would come into our home, and they could kind of go through high school together, which would be really nice. So, of course, it was not my decision. It was really, it was our whole family's decision, but it was really Matthew's decision because it's a lot. They were a lot of times people don't necessarily choose having a scholar, that when they're the same age as their son, just because sometimes there's a lot of pressure for them to be friends, and that,
Right.
and when there's a grade apart, either 1 year older or 1 year younger, it's a lot easier. So it was really Matthew's decision. So we sat down as a whole family. Of course, my girls were 100% on board, but again, Matthew's decision, and he was all in. He thought he was,
Aw.
so it was just a no brainer for us. My husband and I both really wanted to do it, and it was just the most amazing experience for him, for us, for our entire family. So to give a little background about ABC, ABC was founded, well, it started back in 1966. And it kind of started, a group of headmasters from New England got together and discussed how they could, provide more of a quality education for students of color. So they got a grant, and with the grant, they did an experimental project called Project ABC, A Better Chance. So first, it was they were getting enrolling students into prep schools, and that's how it started. And then a few years later, public schools entered, and I might not have the date exactly right, but it was around 1974 and 1975. A Better Chance of New Canaan came along. So it's been a long time, and it's been a super successful program. And in fact, this April we're celebrating our 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So we're
That's
planning.
amazing.
We've already started. We actually just had a board meeting yesterday, and we started planning a huge gala that's going to happen in April to celebrate that, and it'll be a huge fundraiser for the program. So super exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing. 50
Yeah,
years.
50 years.
And what I love about ABC is, like you said, there are a lot of programs out there that extend grants or scholarships to students to go to private schools or things like that. But what I find most interesting about ABC and what I think is really the reason it succeeds so well is that it understands how important family and community involvement are in children's lives and how that really helps a student thrive. And the best part about the program I saw was that as a host family, you have to attend X amount of sports things that the kids are involved in, or whatever their extracurricular is. You have to go a certain amount of times, and it's just this constant showing that you need to be involved in children's lives for them to succeed. So, how do you see that differing from other programs around? Like, what is that special reason that ABC really sees how important family and community is?
Yeah, I think that's, huge. And I do think that's that's what makes this program so successful compared to other programs. Not that they're not successful, but when you are in, first of all, they're living in a house, so they're living in a home. They're not in a dorm room. They're living in a home with a host mom. Kanisha's amazing, and they have chores. They have family dinners all together.
Hmm.
Immediately, they feel like a part of a family there. And then you have their host families, which I think is key in this whole in making this such a successful program and helping them feel part of the community. They're with us. Well, Javi was with me every Sunday to Monday. So they come to our house at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they spend the night, and then they go to school with your children.
Hmm.
And so then you have them one full weekend a month, so every Sunday to Monday, and then one full weekend a month. So on those the times when they're with us, it's like Javi came to church with us every Sunday. He would attend.
Hmm.
If we were going to go and do like a 5K for a charity, he would come with us. He was doing all these community sponsored events with us. Became a huge part of our parish. He actually ended up becoming a Catholic,
Oh,
and he
wow.
wasn't. So he got confirmed. He got baptized, confirmed, the whole thing, while he was before he went to college.
Hmm.
So I think that, and a lot of these boys leave feeling like New Canaan is their town, is their
Hmm.
hometown, and I think that's really important because
Yes.
they really feel the support from their school system, from the entire community, which is huge, which is a big part of the reason why they succeed, I think.
Yeah. So you did do you do Sunday dinners? Is that
Oh, we do Sunday dinners, big
I
Sunday
love
dinner.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We go to church. It's 5 o'clock mass. We come
Mhm.
home, and then every Sunday we put out a bunch of nibbles. And Javi was like a huge eater, including my son. So let me tell you, huge charcuterie board.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we always did a big family dinner all together, which was so
That's so
so nice. I
nice.
miss them. I miss them terribly.
Yeah. Aw. So was Javi with you for 4 years then? So freshman year through senior year, or was
Yes,
he?
every
Yes.
scholar is with
Okay.
their host family for a full 4 years.
For full 4 years. Okay.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. And then at the house, how many kids are at the house altogether during one, or I guess, how does that?
There's 8, so there's usually 2 per grade, but
Okay.
because of COVID, so this year is kind of a unique year because there was COVID, they weren't actually having any new students come in, so we don't have any seniors this year. So there's 1 junior, but then we ended up taking like 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores, so trying to get back to 8, but that
Gotcha.
usually, without COVID being involved at all, it's 8 total,
Okay.
2 in
Nice.
each grade. Yeah.
Okay, and then they all live at the ABC house. I guess it would be Tuesday through or Monday night through Friday when they're not on the whole weekend with you.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Hmm.
That's so nice.
And the house is actually located right in town, which is super nice. And they all have bikes, so they can go into town and get a slice of pizza. They can walk. It's great. A lot of them walk to and from school just for the exercise. They bike, and the location of the house is awesome. It's on Locust Ave. It's super easy.
And did you help Javi decide like college where he wanted to go to college? Is that something the host family walks kids through, or is that something ABC really walks the kids through?
Both. I think it's like a partnership. We did a lot with Javi just because, we had a son doing the same thing. So
Hmm.
everywhere we went, he just came along with us everywhere to look at schools. He actually ended up, which is so it's just fun. He actually is at University of Richmond, where my husband and I went,
Your
and
alma
where
mater.
my middle daughter is. So it's just like super special.
Oh
I wish
wow,
Matthew
that's
was
so
there too,
nice.
but Matthew's at Providence, but he's super happy there. But so we did our share, but I mean, they have so much support at the ABC house. They have a college counselor who volunteers her time and worked with them in helping them find, colleges and research scholarships for them, and so I mean, they have support coming out of their ears. It's amazing.
Yeah, I had read on the website that they pride themselves kind of on fostering environments that provide, exceptional students, valuing hard work, rigorous educational demands, a culture for striving for the best. How was that something that was difficult in the beginning and then got better? Or, are they accepting kids that are really already have that in them and then it just grows and grows through the ABC program? Like, how does that work?
These boys have, I'm always like amazed. I mean, they have a super rigorous schedule. They really do.
Hmm.
Now, to get accepted into the ABC program, I mean, they have to be really smart. So they
Okay.
do, they're smart. These boys are very motivated, and
Hmm.
smart. And they know coming in here that they have to work hard. I mean, the schools that they're coming from are very different than New Canaan public schools.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everyone says when you go to college, like college ends up being a piece of cake once you've gone to New Canaan High School.
Right. Right.
So but again, they have such their rigorous schedule, includes 3 hours of study hall every night. And
Hmm.
they're required to stay in the study hall room, even if their homework is finished.
Hmm.
They have to then read or do extra work or get ahead on work. I mean, it's really great. And then they have two mentors. They have tutors. There's one that lives, actually, I think both of them. There's like an apartment above the garage in at the ABC house, and they live there. And they tutor the boys every night, so they have that as well to make sure. And they're on top of everything. They're looking at the power school. If they're seeing that they're struggling in any way in any
Hmm.
area, they're on top of it.
Right.
So they have the support, and
That's
I
amazing.
do, and it's amazing the growth that you see, like with the kids. And I'm not just saying academically. I mean emotionally too. Javi started off super shy, was always really smart, and maybe a little bit disorganized in the way he studied and everything. But then, he just got all this confidence throughout the years, and I saw him like grow as a student and a person so much in the 4 years. It's
Right.
it's unbelievable.
As any of our kids kind of do, right? Like, I mean, entering
Yeah.
into freshman year looks a lot different than
Oh my
exiting
gosh,
senior year.
isn't that
Yeah.
the truth? Yeah. They have no choice.
Right, exactly. And do you have relationships with the families of the students? I mean, obviously, if their families are applying to this program, they know, they're putting their faith that you're gonna, take care of their baby boys, and
Yeah.
so do you have relationships with the families?
We do. I mean, I know that there's some of the host families, are talking to the parents like every day. That was really not the case for Javi and us. There was a big language barrier,
Hmm. Hmm.
so that made it a little hard. I mean, I tried to as much as I could. Just anytime there was like a fun picture or any sort of award that he received or any, accolades for Javi, I would always text them and send them pictures and things like that. But the only one who really spoke good English was the stepdad.
Okay.
So I would talk to him, as much as I could, but it wasn't a regular conversation. But I do know that, like, Nancy Shulman's son, John, the mother talks to her every day,
Aw,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, it's hard for them. I mean, they know it's an amazing opportunity for their boys, but they're
Right.
also, getting gypped 4 years of their boy being home with them. So I'm
Right.
sure it's hard.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the parents, for the most part, are super involved
That's great.
in their
I love
lives
that.
here. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And
Yeah.
is it usually a lot of siblings that go through ABC, or is it really all new families all the time? Like, is there a alumni or legacy kind of
You know,
admissions in
I
it, or?
I haven't seen that much yet, but although last night in our board meeting they were saying that already the younger siblings of the boys who are currently here are like, we want to come.
Yeah,
So maybe this is
yeah.
going to all of a sudden start. You just never know with because a lot of the students that were there were like only children, only child.
Okay,
So you know, so
gotcha.
I'm sure that if they do have younger siblings, they would most definitely want to apply if they were had the grades and had the
Right,
qualifications, would definitely apply.
gotcha. And what does the alumni network look like in ABC? Like, are they encouraged to come back and kind of mentor the other, younger boys, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's actually growing and growing. Right now we actually have 3 or 4 alumni that are on our board, which is so great. And we have one of
Wow.
them who's one of our mentors. So that's great. And then we have a lot of events where we get, like picnics and things and get-togethers, and the alumni are always invited, and we always get a good handful. So we keep them, as connected as we can, and they want to be involved because they love the program. We had our last, I don't know if you were there, but we had our last fundraising event at the Country Club of New Canaan
Oh.
this past spring, and one of the alumni put together a video that was so amazing. He
Aw.
actually interviewed me, one host family, and then he actually interviewed board members and alumni. And I told him I think his video is the reason why we made like double the money
Yeah.
that we usually do, because it was just so amazing to see someone from the program who grew up and has been so like wildly successful and is now coming back and doing all this for free for the program.
Right,
It was great.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah,
I
it
know.
really builds a community. That's
It
like
does. It really
wonderful.
does. It's
Yeah.
it's it's an incredible program. It is.
And other than being a host family, are there other ways to get involved with ABC? Like, what are the different ways you can, volunteer your time?
There's tons of ways. You can, go and be a handyman and do little small projects in the house. You can get involved in the fundraising events. You can be a driver because they always need volunteers for
Oh,
drive the
hmm.
bus everywhere. You can volunteer. They do have a cook, but sometimes they need extra food. You can volunteer to bring food. What else is there? Tutoring, college counseling. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Someone
So
wants to
the
get involved, they can get. We need them.
That's great. So what is the best way to reach out to people if you do want to get involved? Is it emailing, like going on the New Canaan ABC website?
Yep, the ABC website actually has there is like you can scroll down volunteer. If you click on volunteering, it'll give you sort of all the opportunities, and there's a number that you could reach out to. So it's super easy.
And what would you say is like the most rewarding part of being part of this program for you as a host family?
For me, I mean, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I can't even tell you. I mean, I miss him being here so much.
Yeah.
It was Well, it was like having another. I mean, I consider Javi, now to be like a second son to me. I mean, he truly
Mhm.
is part of our family. He's coming on his way home. He's going to be stopping here for fall break. He already told us he's coming here for Thanksgiving because his family doesn't
Do
practice. They
Thanksgiving.
don't celebrate a Thanksgiving. And he was a football player, and like it's huge to come back, and wear your varsity jackets because they won the
Yeah.
state championship last year. To come
Oh,
in your varsity jacket and go to the Turkey Bowl, so he'll be with us all Thanksgiving. So it's like we've built this lifelong relationship with someone. My whole family has. I mean, my kids consider him a brother too,
right.
and my husband considers him a son. And so I feel like we not only changed his life in many ways, but he changed our lives too.
Right.
So
Right. Oh,
yeah,
that's
it
so
was a
nice.
great experience, and I would recommend anybody doing it if you have boys, Alex.
Yes, I know. Well, I mean, this is why I think when I emailed you, I was like, this is when we first moved to town, I had heard about it and you can't do it until you have kids in high school. So
Yeah, I know.
it's
You've
on
got
my
time. You've
radar. I
got
have
some
time.
time.
I have time. It's definitely on my radar, but it just seems like just the way I approach raising kids is kind of like the way they approach this program. And I just find that to be so beautiful and like just a wonderful way to do this. Um,
It is.
so
It's great. I
yeah.
and I tell you, adding another child into the family was perfect for me because I love I like a loud. I just like a lot of noise and I like a busy house. And now it's
Yes.
really quiet, as you can
Right.
hear in the echo in this room.
No,
It's
it'll
too
be nice.
quiet.
Right. Well, you can visit everyone. You just have to do the
I
tour
know
of where everyone
exactly.
is, and
Oh,
you'll
we'll be
have
busy.
great reason to go back to your alma mater.
Oh, I
So
know. I'm so
that's going to be
excited
so
about
fun for
that.
you.
And
Yeah.
he's already my daughter is actually not even there with him this semester because she's abroad in Madrid.
Oh
But
yeah.
she has like a handful of some of her guy friends and her girlfriends who are already looking out for him. And like
Aw.
occasionally she gets a selfie with them and Javi, and they're like, Javi's doing great. So
Right.
he believe me, he's well taken care of at Richmond
Yeah,
right now.
he's becoming a spider.
He
He's
is
got the spider blood in
exactly.
him. Yeah. I have so many friends that went to Richmond and they like are obsessed with it. So
I know. Oh,
I
it's a
hope.
great place. It is. And
Yeah.
it's funny. We never thought he would choose Richmond. And we went several times because they were actually both looking to play football. So I
Mhm.
took them to some football camps down there, and I just never thought it was going to be a place that Javi was going to love. Like I didn't even cross my mind. I thought he was going to want something that was a lot bigger with some more diversity. And then out of nowhere, he was like, "Guess what, Mish? I'm going to ED to Richmond." I'm like, "What?"
Aw.
I know. It still gives me goosebumps. So it's so fun that he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess, love at home, love at Richmond is like, that's, of course you picked it, you
Yeah, I
know?
know. Now that I really think about it, I'm like, you know what? It just I felt like home for him because we went
Right.
so many times with him, and it's just sort of that little
Yeah.
security blanket, which
Yeah.
maybe
No,
he needed. So,
that's
yeah.
great. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for speaking with me. This has been so nice and I love hearing all about it. But I'm going to end the conversation with the same question I ask everyone, which is what is your favorite family tradition and why?
Okay, well, we have a lot of those, but I do, as I said before, the Sunday dinners are huge in our house, and I just love it because everyone's around the island while I'm cooking, while they're eating some nibbles, and then we sit
Yes.
at the dinner table and we sit for a long time. But the other family tradition I love is that every Christmas time, around Christmas time, we and as they get older, it's a little forced, but we do it anyway, and I swear they like it, even though they won't admit it. We do Christmas cookie, we do baking, we do Christmas cookies, and like every Christmas cookie under the sun, and I just like put out like flour all over I have a huge kitchen island. I do cooking classes actually in my house, so this island
Oh,
is
awesome.
always busy, but
Yeah.
I deck it out with just flour and cookie cutters and icing, and we go nuts, and we go to town with this, and I blast the Christmas music. They know it has to be blasted,
Love it.
and we do this for hours, and I love it. And you know what, I'm just going to have to wait till they get home for Christmas break, and they're going to have
Yeah.
to do it with me.
Definitely keep forcing them. They
Yes.
they 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 want it, even if they roll their eyes. They
They
definitely
do.
want
They
it.
want it,
Yeah.
by the way. I
Yes.
mean, and you should see some of they're still getting very detailed with the cookies, that I know they still like it. The decoration.
One day too, you're gonna get tired and be like, guys, I don't know if we're gonna do it this year, and they're gonna have a mental breakdown. It's gonna be like,
That's right.
no, we
Yeah.
have to do it. I
Yes.
feel,
The
yeah.
other thing that we do, this is another Christmas thing because I'm obsessed with Christmas. We make, because it started with my mom. Like my mom did this with us because she's Danish, and in Denmark they do this. But you make an Advent wreath, like so you have to get a bunch of greens and make it, and then you stick candles in it and you decorate it, and then you do it the first Sunday of Advent, so the first Sunday of before Christmas,
Mhm.
and you light a candle for each one. And so we do it at my mom's house every year, and of course, like she has to make a pasta dinner, and we have
Mhm.
to do the wreaths, and then we have to have the same dessert. So they're going to be
I love
doing
it.
that too. Actually,
Good.
that no, they won't be here for that. Actually, they won't be home early enough for that, so that's
Oh,
going to
for
be
that.
very small this year. They'll be in
Right.
college, but we'll do the
Yeah.
cookies.
You FaceTime them. That's the
Yeah, we'll
perk of
FaceTime them, and
FaceTime,
we'll
right?
just
Yeah.
show them the little greens. We always light the greens because it smells so good. So we'll go, can you
Yeah.
smell that through the phone?
I love
Oh
it.
man.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. This was so
Thank
nice.
you, Alice. It's so
And
good to see you.
yeah, you too. And I will in the episode notes like include all the information about ABC so that if anyone does want to reach out, they can volunteer their time.
Oh, please do. It's a great program to get involved in. So,
All right.
all
Well,
right.
have a good
Thank
one.
you.